back. We came back a couple of days early. Just basically needed to get sort of home from the adventure up in Northern Territory so that we can kind of get back to work. And yeah, just wanted to give everybody an update as to where we went. I think the last stream we did, we were in Catherine Gorge. So I guess just roughly, without I guess too much detail up to Catherine Gorge. The first few days, so we left on from here on the Gold Coast on Friday night. And also for those who are watching this and don't really know what this is about, this is just a recap of our trip to the Northern Territory. So we took a 3-week holiday and we've basically driven across from the Gold Coast through the middle of Australia to the Northern Territory and up to Darwin. So the destination was Darwin, and we had planned basically to take about 3 weeks. So what we did is we left Friday night and we went to Maryborough where we dropped off our puppy dog. It was a little bit easier for him just because we had some national parks. From Maryborough, which was then Saturday morning pretty early, we went from Maryborough across to Emerald, stayed a night at Emerald, got up, went from Emerald to, I'm going to actually look up this because I don't exactly have the breakdown, but I'll just keep streaming because this is actually real. So yeah, basically we went from Emerald on the Saturday night. Sunday morning we travelled from Emerald to Walkabout Creek. We wanted to get to Cloncurry, but the light was fading, so went to Walkabout Creek. From Walkabout Creek on the Monday, then we travelled to Bitter Springs. Bitter Springs is basically at Mataranka. We did 3 days there. So that was the Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Monday night, Tuesday night, Wednesday night. Yep. Then on the Thursday, we drove up to Catherine Gorge. We stayed there Thursday night, Friday night. I think I'm getting my dates about right. And then while we were there, we did the Catherine Gorge 3 Gorge tour. And then we went from Catherine, we continued north to Litchfield. And Litchfield, the idea was we're going to stay for 1 or 2 nights there, but we didn't end up actually staying there simply because when we were in there, we had Starlink, but when we got in there, we just we basically just missed out on the spot. So we were at a place where we were swimming and we really enjoyed it. I'm thinking of the name, Booley Rock Pools was where we were, and we were staying just around the corner, or we were wanting to stay just around the corner, and we went to book. It was available. We thought we'd go down and check it out, which was only probably 5 minutes just around the corner, probably 400 or 500 metres. Got there and it was unavailable, so we ended up still going through the gorge. We actually saw some really cool parts of the gorge. My favourite was probably Wongi Falls, and I don't know whether you've seen a clip on that. That was pretty cool. And then we basically just went straight through. So we went through the other side of Litchfield National Park, and then we stayed at Berry Springs that night. So again, really cool place in Berry Springs at a caravan park. Wasn't a big fall, it was still kind of chill, but we did have power, and we did have showers and toilets and so forth. They weren't right next to us, but it was kind of pretty cool. So then again, I've already forgotten the days, but basically we went from Berry Springs the next day into Darwin, and we stayed at a place called Lee Point, which, if you don't know it, just have a look at it. It's got a really cool elevated position where you can see because it's kind of on a point and Darwin's kind of on a point, you can actually see the sunrise and the sunset, and you can actually get the sunrise and sunset over water. And what's even cooler is that at that time of the year, as long as you had your timings right, well, maybe not time of the year, that time of the month, we actually saw the moon rise and then the moon set pretty much most nights while we were there. So just really cool timing. The sun was rising probably 6:30, setting at probably about that same amount, and then the moon was rising anywhere from about sort of 7:30 to 8:30. And I mean, it didn't have that much swing in those 3 days, but it felt like that. So it was probably 8:30 till 9:30 for 3 days in a row, and it was just spectacular. So while we're in Darwin, we stayed at Lee Point, as I said. We went and saw a few things. We drove into town. Just a word of advice. When you are in town, there's plenty of parks. So you don't need to worry about, you know, paying expensive parking. The parking in Darwin is basically $2 an hour or $5 for the whole day if you're paying for it. We went and we parked our car down near where the underground oil tunnels are, and we thought what we'll do is we'll actually get then some scooters and we'll scooter around. So we planned, basically to pay the $5 because we were there for a couple of hours. Then when we did the oil tunnels, we came out and then we jumped onto some scooters and we sort of shot up around the corner into the city. The problem is there's actually quite a few no-go zones, and by that I mean the scooters stop working, so you can push them, but there's no power. And we sort of thought maybe that was just one spot, but it ended up actually being 2 or 3 spots. It was quite annoying, and our plan was to get across to the art museum, which is kind of halfway across the city. It's not a big city, but in the end, because there were so many of them, we ended up just basically just going back, putting the scooters back where they were, only because we were back to the car, and just taking the car. We drove over to the art museum, and the art museum was 2 or 3 hours free parking. So it's pretty funny because the parking cost us $5, and then the scooters, because they're two, cost us like $23. So I mean, that's not a lot of money, but it's annoying, right? So so that was that day. We went and saw the art museum. I would really, really recommend it. Which I'm not sure whether that was the first or the second day. But then another day we went and seen the markets. Oh, sorry, yeah, that was day 1. Day 2, in the evening, we actually went and saw the corroboree wetlands. That was in the evening. And yeah, basically got to see heaps of different things in their natural habitat. Crocodiles, of course, both freshwater and saltwater. So it was a freshwater, or is a freshwater area, but saltwaters can live in freshwaters, just freshwaters can't live in saltwater. So we had to see both of those and saw really big ones, which was pretty cool. They don't feed them there, so it's a bit more of a natural habitat. And yeah, saw them. We saw heaps of birds, saw jabiru. I mean, those things are massive. And then that was the second, that was either the second or the third night. I think that was the second night, because the third night we actually did the night markets down in town. Now I might have got those days screwed up as one or the other, but yeah, if you get a chance, go see the Mindle markets. They're really cool. If you've ever been to Byron markets, it's pretty much like a supercharged version of those. So it's really cool. It's right on the beach. So sunset, you get to see the beach, and the food is incredible. Music's great. I got a massage. We were just kind of chilling out and getting ready to head back. And then the thinking for us was we left Friday morning, and the idea was we really wanted to kind of do as many kilometres as we could. And we always sort of thought this. But we really want to do as many as we could on the weekends, so that left me available to do any work if I needed to, because it was basically a working holiday for myself and for Talia. And there were a few times we did. More often than not, we were able to answer stuff fairly remotely, and off we went. So basically, we left the Friday morning. We had a pretty big drive. we got through, and the intention was to stay close to the three ways. Talia wanted to see Mataranka, so because we've already seen Bitter Springs, so she wanted to see Mataranka on the way back. And if you know anything, or if you sort of researched it, Bitter Springs and Mataranka are on sort of different sides of town. So Mataranka's on one side, Bitter Springs is on the other side. So Mataranka's on the eastern side, Bitter Springs is on the southern side, Bitter Springs is on the northern side. So we really wanted to see that, or Talia did. I mean, I agreed. So we went there. That was kind of like the Friday lunchtime, which set us back a little bit. Interesting point of note, Bitter Springs is fully functional. Nothing's closed, but Mataranka at the moment has got one of the main areas closed. So it wasn't as cool as Mataranka, although we've spoken to quite a few different people, and they said that their preference is actually Bitter Springs anyway, just because it's a bit more natural. So Mataranka does have kind of concrete areas, and they're both heated pools or heated springs. But yeah, our sort of favourite, I suppose, was Bitter Springs. So that was on Friday lunch-ish, sort of from about 12:30 till 2. Then we went from there, and we got pretty close to the three ways, which is basically the turn to head back into Queensland. We stayed back. It probably would have been about 100k at a place called Sam's Hide. Was it Sam's Hide? Do you remember? Yep. Sam's Hide, free camping, epic. Might have been an old, either a road or a house with foundations, because there's quite a few different concrete blocks. So we stayed there, had full coverage. We had our own water and power anyway, so we were kind of pretty cool. Obviously no toilets, so it was a complete free camp. We got up in the morning, shot down to the Three Ways. We had breakfast at the Three Ways Roadhouse. If you've not had a chance to, or you're sort of thinking of doing that, please do, because the thing is, there's no coverage out there, but if you walk inside the Roadhouse, they've got Wi-Fi, and it's actually pretty good, and I mean, the food is incredible. For a random roadhouse in the middle of nowhere, great food. So we stocked up. That was the Saturday morning. And then from Saturday night, we got through to, trying to think whether it was Kainoona. Was it Kainoona, Talia? Yeah, Kainoona on the Saturday night. Sorry, Cloncurry on the Saturday night, which was, that was really cool. Stayed under a bridge with a whole heap of other people. Again, free camp, but this was... Well, we actually didn't have any toilets, so it was a free camp as such, but you're in town, so if you needed a toilet and so forth, there's plenty of public toilets around. So that was on the Saturday night, and then on the Sunday night, again, all blurring. Oh, yeah, we got back to Emerald, that's right. Stayed at the same place that we did 2 weeks previous on the way out, which is, again, underneath a bridge. The difference with the Emerald stay is it actually has a public toilets there, so I mean, there's no showers or water to speak of, but free camping, right? So it was pretty cool. So that was the Sunday night, and then I really wanted to push it on the Monday to get back to Maryborough, just because that kind of got us back chilling out. And it was the day before, actually 2 days before my birthday, and then so we got there Monday Arvo, which was a pretty good drive. So basically Friday morning to Monday afternoon, I think we did around 3,600k. It didn't feel like a lot because most afternoons is really hot, so it's probably just better off being. Then from there, the next day we hung with Talia's parents. The day after that, we hung with my parents, which was the Wednesday. And then on the Wednesday afternoon, we shot home, which was yesterday afternoon. So all up, we were gone for about 2.5 weeks. We kind of planned that 3 weeks. We've had 3.5 weeks in total that we could be away geographically. Having said that, I worked at least a couple of hours every day. If not more. I I worked in the evenings just to kind of keep everything under control. And I mean, I've got a team that manages a lot of our clients directly and indirectly. So I was just keeping control with that, making sure everything was under control. And Talia was checking in with her salon, making sure that the girls were all under control and everything was, I guess, I keep saying that word control, but yeah, just making sure everybody was okay. And so yeah, we've now come back today. We just basically unloaded, unpacked, and got sort of everything ready. The house is clean. Tomorrow I'll do some follow up. There's a couple of things I need to just chase before I'm, I guess, officially back at work geographically on Monday. But like I said, as a working holiday with both business owners, we're well aware of the balance that we need to have. You can't just pick up and walk away for 3 weeks, but what an experience! I think in terms of totals, we did 7,000. Well, not quite 7,000. We done 6,915 kilometres by Maryborough, and it's actually about 360k to home from there. So all up, about 8,000k here to Darwin, 2.5 weeks. Loved every moment of it. So feel free to ask any questions if you've got any. Otherwise, stay tuned for our next adventures.